Hey everybody, welcome to today's Sunday gear review here at Active Self Protection Extra. Today I want to talk to you about the quick access safe that I have been using in my pickup truck. This guy made by Wincent. It is their single gun safe. Big Tech's Ordnance is my go-to source for accessories for all your defensive and competition firearms. They have great holsters with accessories for concealment and ship fast at great prices. I'm a proud customer and recommend them without hesitation. Now, again, many thanks to Big Tech's for their sponsorship of these videos. Make sure you go buy stuff from Ike and Chris and Maddie and their team. Great people doing great stuff. Now, I do get asked pretty regular about biometric safes and quick access safes, and particularly I've been using this one in my truck. So why are we sitting in my office instead of in my truck? Because the lighting sucked in my truck, and to get it set in my pickup truck to where I could give you a review of it, you wouldn't be able to see it, and I couldn't figure out a way to make that work because of the way my console in my pickup works. And so it's sitting out here. I took it out of my truck. You can see the little loop that we're using here in order to put it in my truck. So let me introduce you to this company. You probably haven't heard of them before. They're a company called Wincent. And you know, that sounds like Vincent a little bit with an odd letter in it. This particular one, you can see they sent it to me in pink camo. And they did send me this, and I liked it so much, in fact, that we invited them to be a sponsor. So mea culpa, these folks are sending me some dollars in order to advertise their products on the big channel. But you guys know my standard on that I did the math on this. I did the evaluation on it. I've been using this guy for about 6 weeks now. I like it. It's what I'm using in my truck in order to secure my firearms. So let me show you why. First of all, this dude is heavy, man. It's not made out of like, you know, I don't think it's made out of 10 gauge steel, but I would say this thing's beefy. It's got to weigh a good 7 pounds or something like that. It's really massive. And given the size of it, this is just big enough for a single full-size pistol. That kind of really says something here. It really is kind of beefy. Now, secondly, you notice here, it has a backup key, but the only access point here is a biometric. And I actually really like this kind of safe right here for people who, for instance, are traveling with firearms. So if you are going to fly with a gun and you just want to fly with a single firearm and you're not doing like I'm doing, flying all over to teach classes or whatever, I kind of like this guy. And the reason that I like this guy is the only way to access this sucker is with your fingerprint, right? So guess what? If TSA says, hey, we need the key to your case, you can say, I don't have a key to my case. This finger is key to my case. You can bring the case to me or bring me to the case so you can investigate it if you need to. But I literally cannot give you the keys to my safe because it's biometric. That's actually quite an advantage in my opinion, because then they can't argue with you and threaten you not to put you on your airplane or whatever, because again, it's a biometric. Now there is a key backup to it, but again, because that's not the way that you generally open, you can say, I don't have it, this is the key. Now they say that it will store up to 50 fingerprints in there. I will tell you what the reality is, in my opinion on that, is that when you do that, that really is about 10 fingerprints, because for each of my fingerprints, what I did is I put one in the middle, and then I did another one with it off-centered a little bit one way, off-centered another way, off-centered another way, off-centered another way, and then did it rolled to this side, rolled to that side, rolled to the front, rolled to the back. So that's like 9 different fingerprints that it kind of sort of got close on. And all those add up to this digit. So when you do this one, and then you do this one, and you do this one, and you do this one, well, then that's 4 fingerprints, right? So now my hands are all in here. So if you did that with you and your wife, now you're pretty well out of fingerprints, right? In fact, you'd run out long before that. But I think that that is a benefit. So again, if you're going to be traveling with it, then that will do its thing. Second thing I like about this is robustly built. I think that, you know, these kind of little residential security containers, they're never going to withstand a truly determined thief. But I think that the construction of this guy is that it only has the springs on the back are only slightly there. You'd have to chisel right the heck through that thing in order to get through it, and I think that's a big deal. Third thing I like about it is I like that the biometrics work. That generally speaking, they work well and they work quickly, and they are irrespective of orientation. Sometimes I've seen these guys that, you know, what you do is you turn them towards you, right? And you push your finger on this guy and it opens. And I have seen some, and I've been asked to review some, that when you turn them this way and open, it won't work because it doesn't recognize a fingerprint. It's orientation specific. This one isn't. And actually it's one of the first things that I tested, because when I'm sitting over here to the left in my driver's seat of my pickup truck, it will sit down here, and the best way to orient it is with this forward. So I actually put my fingerprints in this way, and then when I go to hit it this way, up it comes and open it comes, and now it's got what I want and comes quickly. So you can see that it opens either way that you go on that, and I kind of like it for that. I think that that's a good thing. So again, if I'm sitting here and it's sitting like this on my bedside, again, same thing, that it sees my finger and open it comes. Now I can get in here and get my firearm, okay? Do what it is that I need to do. A couple of things that you might notice on that is that it opens pretty quick. This guy's about a 1 second opener. Once I get it on there, you don't have to wake it up. I don't have to tap it and go. All I have to do is, again, because I put my fingerprint in a number of ways, touch the fingerprint scanner, it recognizes my finger and up it comes and off we go. About a second here. Now, what you might have just noticed there is the fact that the cabling on this is pretty darn rudimentary. In fact, let me grab this off the ground, and what you can see here is it's just this little cable here that's got a little pip on it, and what you would do is whichever side you want, you put that pip in here, or it's got the same thing on the other side over here, and when you go to close it, you make sure that that pip is in there, then it closes. Now that you'd have to, I think you'd have to destroy this whole thing to get it out. I'm not saying it can't be done, but what you're trying to do in a car safe anyway is just keep them out of the big doings, right? So if you put this under your driver's seat or something, you'd loop this underneath where they'd have to take your seat off or completely rip the thing apart, and you're gonna deter a thief, right? You're not gonna deter a thief with some significant cable locks, cable cutters with them or something like that. That's not what these kind of things do. I've got this one in the console of my truck. I just drilled a little hole in it through a spot that I could get both through and get it, pushed through and then put back together. Took that all out for you to see it today. Now, as far as sizing, this little guy, I've got a couple more from them that you'll see in weeks ahead as we do some gear reviews. This guy is just big enough for a full-size pistol. So again, you can see that, again, 1 second open, I like that. And I can show you, we'll just take that off so you can see. This is my concealed carry gun here, and I just wanna kind of show you what that looks like, is it's just big enough for my full-size P30. This is Theseus, just barely fits in there. I would say if you had a long light, a light that extends beyond the muzzle very far, of course Theseus here has a threaded barrel, so if my light extended beyond that hardly at all, this gun wouldn't fit in there. So if you're carrying a big honking gun, you're carrying a Roland Special or something like that, I don't know that with a big old pistol light on it, it would work very well. But this is a good gun, it's a big gun too, it's a full-size gun, and it fits in here just fine. Now, it would not fit in here with my holster. Okay, so it's not deep enough to fit in here with the holster. It does have a little bit of padding on the bottom. It also has a little light on it so that when you open it at night, you get a little bit of light so you know which way your gun is oriented. I kind of like that. In terms of power supply, this guy's powered by 4 AAA batteries. And what they say is that those batteries should last you 6 to 9 months, maybe even a year. And then you have the key backup. So you could conceivably, because this, if this isn't an emergency access item, so if this is your truck safe, your truck gun box, then that wouldn't bother me too much. Maybe keep the key in your wallet or something like that if you needed it, or keep it in the safe at home. And if it didn't work one time when you were out at the mall, well, then you got to drive home unarmed and don't get mugged. But if I was using this as a bedside safe, I'd probably just change the AAAs in it once a quarter. How much does 4 AAA batteries cost? A couple bucks. I would just put a reminder in your calendar on your smartphone, hey, change the batteries in your gun box, and then go from there. So I really think the construction here is good. I think that it is just big enough to hold my firearm, which I like. It gives me everything that I need here in terms of a bedside gun safe, this particular one for me in my truck. Now, this is a company that produces, they manufacture out of China. I think though that the construction quality is sound. I really think this is probably, gosh man, it's gotta be maybe 14 gauge steel, maybe even 12 gauge steel. I don't know. It's pretty thick. I mean, it's pretty beefy stuff, and it's definitely like bigger than sheet metal, like bigger than what you'd make a car with. I think the construction on it's good. The electronics on it are really top flight. The biometrics on it work really well. I shoot a lot and do a lot of stuff with my hands, and it really does a good job with my fingerprint. You saw, I haven't cut this, so you've seen it operate every single time and do so quickly. I like the fact that it's pretty easy to hook up to the car. I like the fact that it's battery operated with a key backup. I like it, you guys. I like these guys so much. They asked if they could do some sponsorships on the channel. I think this product is good enough and meets the standard. For what you get in here, I also really like the price. You go on their website and this particular model here is 110 bucks, which for the gauges steel that they're using, for the fact that the biometrics work really well, for the fact that it's sized nicely and it's got kind of the nice features, I think it's a good price. I mean, I've seen some of these on Amazon in a similar vein go for about 150 bucks is kind of the going price. So the fact is 40 bucks cheaper. It's a great one. You don't have to get it in pink camo, though you can. Again, they just sent me this one in pink camo, so I went with it. So at any rate, if you're in the market for a residential security container, something that you could use for a bedside safe or, you know, inside of a sock drawer or something like that, but you need some protection from unauthorized access. I do in my life. I have teenagers who have made mental health trips for suicide attempts. And so we always have to make sure that firearms are completely locked up all the time. This is how I do that. And if you're in the market for those kind of things, this is one I'd check out.